Hey everybody, how is it going out there? It must be Thursday because we find ourselves trapped in tiny boxes about to play some Dungeons and Dragons. I hope that everyone out there is doing great and having a good week and is ready to watch some what may or may not be weird, perverted, deranged Dungeons and Dragons. You know, who knows? Who knows? What's going to happen. How is everyone else doing this evening? Grant, why don't you kick us off?
Well, it's been a little while, but Myrrh, how low can you go? Death row, what a goblin knows. Once again, barbarians the incredible, the right animal, the insatiable, Icky, land between two rivers, #1. Ex-dreamer was freed, then Ellie got numb. Can you tell that he's never really got none? Only a matter of time till he's Baloo's next one. Now I'm a cleric, can't you tell, and I divinely cast spells because a goblin like me says, well, I'm Baba Yaga's prophet that I think you ought to listen to. What I'm going to say to you, what you want to do is join me for now. I'm not going to do the whole song because I ran out of gas. But I'm doing well, and I'm excited to play a little Dungeons and Dragons tonight.
Excellent, excellent. We are excited to play as well. Lindy, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing super duper spiffy. I am ready to play the Dungeons and the Dragons tonight. No idea what's gonna happen today, so that's real exciting, real interesting. Myrrh, however, has plans for a lot of events and things that happen, and Mud is no longer on her hands, so you know it's a good day. It's a good day. It's a great day.
Very good day. Very good day. Mud, of course, enjoying her honeymoon, and just really living it up as the newest night wife of Noipo Way. There you go. TK, welcome back.
It's me. It's TK. I'm tan. I'm happy. I've been playing a lot of Dungeons and Dragons this week. This is not the last time I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons, actually, now that I think about it. But I've been playing a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm excited. Excited to be with Icky. I haven't played Icky in like 3 weeks. Starting to fiend a little. Jim said it was cool if I did the recap he promised, so he can't take it back because I already said it on the internet. You can't take anything back on the internet. It's
you
in
really
stone.
can't.
That's
really
the law.
You can't walk anything back. It's never erased. It's here forever, driving us all slowly insane. Anna, how are you this week?
Hello, TK. I thought you were gonna say it's me, Mario, for a second, and I was hoping
Mario.
someday. But anyway, I'm good. Just hanging out, having a good old time. And I'm going to thank Ellie, as always, the wholesome barbarian that had the talk last week. Good times.
Good times.
Good times.
And after witnessing such a momentous event as an orgy whose energy had been spent.
I forgot about that.
Oh,
thanks for reminding me.
My bad. How about you, Josh?
I'm pretty good. I'm sunburned, but that makes sense because I'm pretty sure the last con save I made for Baloo was a failed save while he was out in the Two Suns.
Yeah.
Feeling good, ready to see what happens. Land between two rivers.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
We are brought to you in part by Tabletop Loot. They are our sponsor. You guys could go check them out as it comes up on the holiday season, which, as we all know, begins sometime around January. Is time to start thinking about that gamer in your life. As we all know, you can never have enough dice. And a bunch of dice stuffed into a stocking makes for an effective weapon on Christmas Day if you need to battle off hordes of ravening elves or drunk relatives. So go and check them out. For all of your dice and other gaming accessory needs. Tabletop Loot, use the code WebDM15 for a little discount and get yourself something as well. TK, would you, as someone who's recently seen what happened last week, like to give us a bit of a recap?
I would love to, Jim Davis.
Thank you.
So I don't have like little diagrams or anything, but 10 my fingers are the people. So this is the party, and this is some gnolls and stuff. So they were flying around on a skiff and everything, and then they went back to the Medusa, and then the Medusa was all like, hey, you totally killed that jelly guy that I told you to kill. He was made of jam, and he was delicious, and nobody ate him, so I'm sad about that. But it turned out she was genuinely happy that everybody was there, so that worked out. And then she was all like, where the hell's my army, Gildan? And Gildan was like, oh yeah, I'll get you a super fast army. They'll be so fast, super fast. And she was like, I'm waiting. And so he was like, okay. And so then we had to take Mud with us, which whatever. And then they dropped off Icky at the bus stop so that she could meet Redacted. And then they went and they hung out with a bunch of gnolls, and the gnolls were like, we're fighting, but we're not really fighting. We're fake fighting. Even though people, I guess, can still die or whatever, because this is the Wastelands, and this is serious fucking business. And then they were like, we can't work for you because we work for somebody else, and we're not going to hang out with her until later in the episode. And they were like, okay, well, in the meantime, we're going to go do this other thing. And I forgot what that was. And then they went and they hung out, and they went to an orgy, and he had to get somebody to divorce his wife. And he was like, no, I've only got 12 other wives. How can I only love 12 women? And I thought that was fucking hilarious. And then Gildan was like, well, I guess I could marry off literally every single member of the party. And then he and Mud did not Gildan, but he married Mud to him, and they had a sloppy makeout session. It was really fucking disgusting. I myself had to roll a Constitution check at home a week later.
That's just.
And then we're taught Axe Dreamer about the birds and the bees, even though I think it's supposed to be mildly comedic that he's saving himself for a goddess, but I actually think it's kind of sweet. I think that's nice.
He is, yeah. It's entirely based on a story he heard at some point.
Well, I mean, that's a little dumb, but whatever. So yeah, so they're gonna go. I guess they're gonna go pick up Icky or whatever with their time traveling Mormon or whatever, and that's it.
Yeah, that's. I think that's
candy, please.
There you go, candy given, and. An excellent summation. Yes, the party did acted as marriage counselors and smoothed things over and the like. And as the dust is kicked up in their wakes, they travel back towards the Medusa Queen. The two armies in their ritualized warfare had already begun to disperse.
Oh wait, and Gildan totally macked on the Medusa, so that makes 3 times that Grant has Frenched a Medusa in our games.
And live to tell the tale every time.
Tale. Yeah.
We don't know that. We kind of cut off mid-kiss.
Oh yeah, here's my new character, my junior. I pee twice as much.
Okay, I'm done.
There we go. Thank you. Bravo. So yeah, let's pick up. We can pick up immediately there at the Medusa's lair, unless you guys would like to start somewhere else.
Oh no, let's pick up right there.
All right. So there was a moment of. A brief moment of pain and then numbness as Gildan is kissed by the snakes, and slowly a crust of gray slate begins to form across his bowl, and then back and then down. But he's still moving as this is happening.
I develop a coating. I got IBS. IBS.
Mer was secretly hoping that he was actually just turning to stone, but then she sees that he's still moving, and she restrains her sigh of joy.
Mm-hmm. I'd like everyone except for Gildan to give me insight checks, please.
Yeah! I'd love to do that. Mer is so suspicious of these people.
13.
For good reason.
15
Thank
for
you.
Ellie.
Tabletop loot.
Ooh. 19. How about Blue?
Baloo got a 7.
Yeah, he's over there with Axe Dreamer, just sort of, what's going on? You know.
I have no idea.
I
don't want
to know. So, for both Ellie and Myrrh, it's Mivia who's sort of caught your attention. It seems as if this embrace from Mistress Natharia is genuine. At least, she says, I'm going to bestow my favor upon Gildan. But Mivia herself doesn't seem particularly pleased by this. And she's the only other one in the throne room with you.
Okay.
And kind of giving a bit of a side eye to this whole action that's going on.
Is it like a jealous displeased, or just like a general unhappy, like, oh?
Like it's almost a bit of both.
Okay.
There's a bit of jealousy. And they're not sure if it's like jealousy, like, oh, Gildan, this is a hot commodity here for them.
Yeah.
But maybe something like
the reward or the attention kind of thing.
Yeah, that's the impression you'll get.
Okay. Got it.
So how does Gildan react then?
Well, he cross over. Mentally, he's sort of embracing this. He has often become one with stone. And honestly, he's trying to think about... he's trying to think as far as he can into the future, because he's kind of gotten himself in a pickle now. He's raised an army. He's delivered it to a Medusa. He's a bringer of chaos, but kind of like the Joker in The Dark Knight. He's like a dog chasing cars. He wouldn't know what to do with one if he caught one. So he's caught a Medusa, and he's earned her favor, and he kind of has to ride this out. However, he is quite flattered. It's been a while for him. He's been on the outs with his last.
That's very true. That's very true.
He brought it upon himself, sort of, kind of,
maybe a little, just a little. The Medusa is passionate, but not like, it's not a lustful, sexual kiss. It's more of a, like she said, a bestowing a favor. And as she draws back, her snakes kind of retract from your stony flesh. And
I was gonna say, Gildan can't help but to respond sexually. Oh, as his body gives out, he's left a heap of a goblin on the floor.
It's not that kind of.
I know, I get it.
And
gotta be on brand.
Medusa.
Oh,
all right, barely 30 minutes in. So
missed you guys.
She missed you too, DK. Queen Natharia has her hands on Gildan's shoulders, and I will keep an eye out for this army that has been promised. And as this, you almost like you would start to absorb the coating, right? It starts to like sink into your skin. She takes one of Gildan's hairs and plucks it.
I'm
Bald now?
I am. He's a shorn Gildan. I want to take one of her scales. But instead, I'm just going to use the newly bestowed blessing, which sounds like it's kind of already been there, and just become Gildan the Rock, and kind of turn and kind of like gargoyle-esque lurch towards Myrrh. Myrrh! Behold mine powers! The look she gave me, ouch! Ouch! Oh, high school all over again. My chest hurts.
Yes, I see them. They are evident.
Yeah, then I'm gonna like thaumaturgy. This is kind of like Vegeta in Dragon Ball Z kind of pretended to be a Super Saiyan when he wasn't. I'm just kind of like, behold, I am blessed of the Medusa.
There's a cream for that.
Not
Now-
from you, I say with a scowl.
Is there any way for Ellie to go where Nivea is and maybe pull her aside?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
She's sort of like in front of the throne, off to the side.
Okay. Hey, we're back. I mean, obviously, you know, because we're here. Obviously. Is there any way we could go hang out and talk about stuff?
Yes. If you would like some refreshment, we have plenty available.
Sure.
And the Queen Natharia seems to not really pay much attention. She goes back and sits down on her throne, but Nivea does offer all of you at this point, please, there's refreshment here within the other halls, if that's something that you wish to refresh yourself with. And she kind of like half awkwardly walks out of the throne room.
But still with us?
Yeah, she leads you if you'd like to,
Yeah,
to follow.
okay. Cool.
Anyone else going? Or is just Ellie?
Well, I cannot allow Ellie to go by herself. But I also can't leave Gildan alone. But I will go with Ellie.
No, Gildan will tag along. He feels.
No.
Right.
I was thinking kind of more just the two of us.
But
for
Gildan
now.
doesn't really tag along.
And then I rushed Nivea, like,
Yeah.
so we could kind of like ditch them for now.
Gotcha.
We're just a bunch of squares.
I'll just keep
Oh,
my
Gildan's
ears
coming.
open.
Yeah. And Nivea opens doors that don't exist, and seems to have a command over this place that's not quite the way her mother's is, but you're not walking through the regular halls. She's going to open up her own to get to where you're going quickly. And taking Nivea's shortcut, she leads Ellie to a small room. You can see through a large arched opening that there are a variety of petrified individuals in a much larger room, and they all seem, at least the ones that you can see, to be very handsome and or otherwise beautiful specimens of the peoples that they are. You're not sure what part of the lair that you're in, though.
Okay.
It's just a small room. There's some couches and little like ottomans and pillows, and very comfortable.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Ellie's gonna sit down in one of the ottomans and just kind of cross her legs, put them on the thing, and then just kind of. Okay, so as you know, you're my new best friend here. We need to talk about stuff, and I've noticed that you're not so happy here or here.
Yeah. You see her kind of looking about and seems apprehensive at first. Give me a moment. And you see her take a tablecloth off of one of the low tables, and on it is etched in silver on the stonework of it some sort of arcane sigil that she touches, and a soft glow lights it up momentarily before before it fades. We should be free to talk without any eavesdroppers for the time being. You're right. I'm not happy here.
And why is that? And then Ellie pulls out a notebook and starts writing.
When we came across this place, my mother and I were satisfied to understand what it was that we had discovered. But of late, she seems to have ambitions beyond mastering our craft. I don't know why she wants an army or what it is that she wants with your friend, the traveling companion. Yeah, I just don't know what to do.
Well, have you tried talking to her? Daughter to mother?
She's not the talking sort. She tends to, if she doesn't get her way, she can be quite persuasive. And all this, Mivia seems to trip over her words and be unsure of herself in a way that you haven't really noticed in the times that, you guys faced her down, the five of you, and she was like barely a sweat, but she seems genuinely nervous talking about this.
Well, what do you want to do? Do you want to come with us, go on an adventure, kill my twin? That sounds like fun.
Oh. Wait, that's why you were at the hills. I feel like I should leave, but it will not be easy. And I would not want to risk your safety simply because I'm dissatisfied.
Well, I think we'll be okay. It's just your happiness is what matters. And if you're not happy here, you should just leave. And, I mean, is your mom going to yell at you? I don't really know about moms. Actually, kind of. I am learning. I have 2 now.
It's not so much that she would yell as that she would seek revenge. She would think I betrayed her, or would seeking to undermine her, and in truth, the thought has crossed my mind, and until this army was delivered, I had hoped that you might help me overthrow her, but now perhaps fleeing is a better option.
You don't mean, like, kill her, right?
I would prefer it to not come to that, but I don't know of any other way to stop her.
Okay, let's look at our options here. If we were to kill her, would you feel sad? Would you feel happiness? In the middle?
I would be sad, but free as well.
Okay. And then Ellie, writes something down in her notebook.
She's like...
Okay. All right. And if we weren't... What if I talked to her? Killing should always be last, in my opinion. Sometimes.
If you think that it would be effective, talking to her might... Well, it might work. I just... I'm quite worried about what would happen, though.
So kind of like if she were to turn me into one of those things?
She would. It would be a trivial enough thing to return you, but not if all of us suffered a similar fate.
Okay. I'll talk to her.
Yes. It's just that I've never... Well, she's always gotten her way, and I didn't want to... I shouldn't have said anything. I'm sorry. There's no need to say anything. There's no need to talk.
Listen, just... breathe in, breathe out. It's gonna be okay. You're my best friend.
All the snakes.
I just want you to be happy.
Yeah.
So stressed.
Mm-hmm.
I just want you to be happy, and I will do my best. And just don't worry about me. Whatever happens, I'm sure the rest of my family will handle it.
You seem to be capable, and I trust you somehow. You're quite unlike anyone else I've ever met.
I get that a lot, but I just go with it, I think. Just learning as I go.
Well, thank you for your honesty, and perhaps I can, if it doesn't work out, I can at least slip away, and I very often run errands and the like. She rarely leaves this place, and perhaps if an army is here, it'd be easy to leave and wouldn't be missed.
We'll see. We'll talk about stuff and things, and then we'll figure it out.
Thank you, Ellie.
And then I put my hand on like her shoulder, like, and then I kind of pat every head of her snakes, like, gently.
They're sort of semi-independent, prehensile kind of, and they writhe under Ellie's touch, but not aggressively. Thank you. That was, well, I feel better already. Refreshments? And there's a variety of all sorts of drinks and beverages and the like.
She takes a shot of whatever.
Yeah, some sort of, I don't know, some sort of brandy or something like that.
This isn't water.
It's not water. How about everybody else? So Ellie and Mibby are gone for a while, right? What does everyone else do? Like whoever tried to follow the wall, like slams shut once.
Fine.
Ellie's
I
through.
play it cool, and I start counting down the minutes.
I'm explaining to Myrrh. So Ellie has gone off. Poor, weak, sick Ellie, alone with a Medusa. What would Icky say of Mir for leaving her daughter wander off alone? Bad mother. He two eyes and kind of walks away from you.
It takes every ounce of Myr's body to not like throat punch kill him right there.
He's all high and mighty with his blessing.
Yes. I made a fake banner and everything.
He will wind up killing himself. She plays the long con, and she knows that Ellie considered Mivia a friend, so she's just counting, like, all right, she's back in the 8 minutes.
Friends exist to betray.
No, Myrrh doesn't have friends, but other people have friends, so you know.
So let's see. All right. They are gone at least 30 minutes.
Oh no.
Minute 8.5, Myrrh starts pacing a little bit.
The queen sits on her throne for a minute and seems to be meditating or something, almost sort of ignoring you for a minute before opening her eyes, and you are free to tour my abode, and if you should need anything, you must only ask and it will be provided. But I have business elsewhere. And she gets down off of her throne and starts walking towards the back of the throne room.
Okay. Just want to note where she exits. And I'm totally going to look at some of these statues. I'm royal intrigued.
There are, you're of course quite close to both the Hall of Enemies as well as the Court of Lovers.
Well, I think we've walked through the Hall of Enemies a couple times. I'm going to walk through the Court of Lovers and see if I can gain any business inspiration.
Yes.
Yeah.
Business inspiration.
Yeah. And she's just thinking to herself, well, I did teach her the birds and the bees. Maybe she's experimenting. Maybe she's growing. It's fine. It's a little faster than I anticipated, but you know. She's a real go-getter. It's fine.
Exactly. And it's as Myrrh is touring the Court of Lovers that you pass by an archway and see Ellie and Mivia drinking and chatting.
Silent sigh of relief. Then they're drinking and chatting. She's not gonna interrupt, but she's just gonna be like the slight bead of sweat that was starting to form. It's just brushes it away and like everything's fine. Yep, everything's good.
I wave. That's not water. Don't drink it.
All right. You know there are other beverages besides water, right, Ellie?
Nope.
Well, now you know there are many different type of beverages amongst the plains. There is water, there are juices, there is distilled liquors. There are many drinks for many different occasions.
Well, that one tastes very old, and I think it's gone bad. So just don't.
Right. I will make a note of that. Thank you.
Be careful. How long? So, what is Baloo doing as all this is going on?
Baloo, like me, is contemplating the how this all could turn sour. So he's kind of being cautiously quiet. He might tour the facility a bit, looking at trying to find an idea of like why, outside of artistic value, why she would keep these statues, and like what kinds does she keep, and that kind of thing.
She keeps all sorts of creatures, and most of the non-humanoids are outside as part of this sort of courtyard of trespassers and great big monstrous beasts that have been petrified. The Court of Lovers, on the other hand, is just specimens of either exoticness or beauty or something. It's more of a, I don't know what you'd call it. There are some of them that are quite erotic, and others of them that are just more like artistic. But there's probably 2 or 3 dozen of them in the main hall alone, and then several halls that branch off into side rooms and sitting rooms. Everywhere in here, there's a petrified person of some kind. They hold up torches. They act as furniture. You don't see any of the ones that are like have been broken and then sort of like reattached or things like that. That's really more for the Hall of Enemies than the Court of Lovers.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, other than that, I don't think he has a lot of business here. He doesn't like being here. He thinks that it's really dangerous for Gildan to have allied himself. Them, I should say.
Sure. I mean, eventually I think you'd probably come across Mivia, Ellie, and Myrrh in a sitting room that appear to just be chatting.
I would join them then.
So there were 21 travelers with you, 14 servitors plus the 7 new recruits that they had managed to find while they were staying at Baloo's abode. So the 21 of them go about being not welcomed or anything. They're sort of led off into another section of the lair, and there are vast rumblings and minor quakes and tremors for the rest of the day throughout the entire place. You are welcome to stay there as long as you like. There is food and water brought out by stone servants, those animated stone statues. But otherwise, you're left alone. And if there's a place that you shouldn't be going, then there's no way you could get there, right? It's all closed off if you otherwise not supposed to be there.
Do we get the impression that there's a back door to this place?
You get the impression that if they needed a back door, they would just create one.
Okay.
They both, Mivia and Natharia, seem to have effortless control over the architecture of this place, and everything is made of stone, right? So they create hallways when they need, doorways where they need. That's what you've observed. You can either Arcana or Nature for Baloo, as you've spent some time in here now, a couple times.
Yeah, 18 for Arcana.
Yeah, this gives you a similar vibe of some of the other places where planes have been countermonious with each other. You got a similar vibe from the oozing caverns that you were in not long ago, as well as other places. The Tree of Andrus gives you a similar feeling, and you can just sort of tell with your druidic expertise that they have built a lair above some kind of either actual portal to the plane of Earth or a place where Earth is just right on the other side of the planar veil.
Okay. I'm still contemplating the Great Ocean.
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out. This place probably would not get flooded.
Probably not. No.
It could either be sealed away or, which makes me kind of wonder if we could make a deal. She could have her own island. Anyway, he's thinking real big, which is why he's so quiet. He's lost in thoughts of eco-terrorism and restoring the balance and things like that. He's going full druid.
Okay. Full nature in the balance druid.
Yeah.
So give me an idea for everybody at the Medusa's place. What it is you do while you're just staying there, and how long you stay there.
Every chance Gildan gets, he wants to use a sending spell to Baloo and tell him that he should cause a great flood. It would be advantageous if we flooded the earth.
This seems like a tone change.
Why?
I would respond.
No. It's the way prophets get great recognition. We prophesy things, and then they come to pass.
That's true.
And it would also heal the land. The old powers should die, and the new powers should rise.
I mean, you're right and all. I totally 100% agree with you. I can't let my emotions cloud my judgment. You're right. We should drown this place.
I think
we should quench the earth.
Yes, we definitely should. And I have dreamed dreams, and I have had visions that I have seen. And Gildan has, if you remember, very early on, he saw the world in an almost paradisical state. So Gildan wants to bring that come to pass. That is his biggest dream. So now that he has delivered an army to the Medusa, he feels that we should invert the water. If the water is trapped in that place, it must be released.
Okay. Well, it's good to know. It's good to know you agree. Because it'd be really glorious. Like, maybe it's something we could agree on. That isn't, relationships. Because we're not going to agree on that.
Sorry. Sorry. Gildan would just say the worst things in this situation, but he is wise and knows to nod. Of course, it's a sending spell, so no one can see him nod. Baloo assumes he's ghosted him once more.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. When does he ever stay around when he needs to?
I know, right? I hope there's some new viewer that's like, wait, what?
No.
Yeah.
No.
All right. So Baloo is contemplating how best to sort of flood this wasteland and whether or not to include or warn or somehow the like.
I mean, Isle of the Medusa has a good ring to it.
True. That is true. So again, how long are y'all going to stay here?
I would stay as long as the moms would stay. Now would show both of them, hey, come here. And then I like open my notebook and I circle the words she wants to escape, but killing is the last option. And at the bottom there's like a pretty cute drawing, like a chibi drawing of her. It's like cute little snakes with like big eyes animated.
Oh.
Yeah.
That is a beautiful drawing, Ellie.
But we can't talk about this.
We will talk about this drawing later.
It's... And she like opens it up again for Baloo, like...
I'm forming plans and thoughts, Ellie. But I think you should continue to be friends with her.
We have to. We're best friends now.
This is true. Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it. You're best friends now. Yeah.
I feel like this has been a lovely time and all, but we should really pick up Icky from her rendezvous. I feel like she's had enough time now. It's been a few days.
Like 6 months.
Surely her business has been tended to.
Yeah, weren't we also going to murder an assassin? I think we should probably...
Yes, I am still very much about that. I mean, we cannot have imposter Ellie running around.
Yeah, I agree. Okay.
Miss Icky.
I miss Icky too.
It's been like 4 days since y'all have seen Icky as well, because it took a while to cross with the others. Now,
yes.
Yeah, now getting back will be much quicker.
Much faster.
TBH, she's probably dead, so it's fine.
It's fine.
Icky the 17th.
How many skitter steps is that up to then? So there's, while the party is delivering their messages and secret plottings and the like in the lair of the Medusa, let's see what Icky has been up to. So Icky was dropped off at a permanent encampment in the wastes. It's sort of built into a cliffside. And for those who regularly wander the wastes, there are a series of these all over really, but primarily in the north and east. A system of caves or small shacks and lean-tos. They are communal, and anyone can use them, and they very often have a variety of odds and ends, bits of gear, things. The only rule for these places is that if you take something, you leave something. And it could be anything. You could take a spear and leave a tooth. You could take a net and leave, a big pile of scrap. It's the only rule amongst, or rather, not rule, the only custom amongst the Wastelanders is that they are all out here together, and that these places are meant for survival and are owned by everyone. So there was a campment not that far, really, from where the two temporary structures of the warlord Hamada and Naibo Way was, sort of to the northeast-ish, northwest of where they were. And that is where Icky finds herself having been dropped off. It's a series of caves that are built into sort of a shelf in the hillside. So there's a low, very shallow cliff face cave with a stout door at the back, and that leads to a series of interior caves and the like that people use to take shelter, rest, and this time of year they are frequently used to take shelter from the suns. And that's where Icky is right now. There are about, a little over half a dozen other inhabitants out here, Wastelanders mostly. Two of them are sort of sitting off in one of the back caves. They don't really seem to be mingling with too many others. And you notice that there are at least two bandits that you recognize, Icky, as Outriders for your brother. But your brother's not here yet. The rest of them are milling about. The rest of the inhabitants of the encampment are sort of milling about, sharing stories, exchanging tales. Looks like some are stragglers from Nuevo Way's camp as it's breaking up.
Icky's already got her dentures in. She knew Rix was gonna screw her over, so she's already prepared for disappointment because that's pretty much all he's ever been in her life anyway.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You are there for a day without anyone, other than these two Outriders that you recognize. And it's at the end of that first day that someone walks in right at the tail end of evening, right as the sun is coming up, seeking shelter. An orc that you recognize from Trade Town, the Druid Shade, who was Ishtar's companion.
Gross. Icky will sort of like elbow one of the Outriders and like incline her head towards Shade. With you?
Not with us, no. She looks like, and you see this sort of like one of the Outriders is like a cat person, Tabaxi, who sort of like sniffs the air. Seems a fellowship.
Ugh. You think she has anything on her?
Just don't smell anything. Just trouble.
Just like the Fellowship, waste my time. Icky will continue to watch Shade and see what she's up to.
Mm-hmm. Shade seems to take a seat at one of the tables that's in here. This place, given its more permanent nature, is almost a vibe of like a cantina or a caravan way stop. There are low tables that people have built or donated. Most everyone here has brought their own food and drink, but you see Shade quickly goes about creating food and water for the rest of the inhabitants here, setting up a small station at a table where a great pitcher of water and platters of fruits and delectables that the rest of the inhabitants of the encampment avail themselves of.
Does Icky have any reason to believe that this is something like what Baloo would do, where he offers people food regardless of whether or not they are strangers, or if this is something that Gildan would do, where he offers food and then they proselytizes to them?
You don't see her proselytizing or anything. You see her just create this, and she's sort of sitting at the table, but seems more introspective as the people come and go from where she's at. So she's not really like trying to sell them on anything. It more seems like she has the means, and why not?
Okay. Is there any indication that Shade recognizes Icky?
Not that you've noticed. She's not particularly paid much attention to you, or sort of shown up and made the water, made the food, and appears to be waiting. She's within sight of the front door, and can sort of see it, but seems to just be almost meditative.
Yeah, Fellowship rarely travel alone.
Mm-hmm.
Icky will sort of like incline her head again towards the door and look at the Outriders. And how long now? When will he come?
The other one speaks up. It will be, should be by the end of tomorrow. There was a promising hunt.
I'm sure that somebody else's belongings needed hunting again.
I do not know what you refer to, but yes, perhaps.
Well, he cannot make himself useful for me today. I have no use for you. Go.
The two of them sort of stalk off. They know Icky more by reputation than I guess personal interaction.
Yeah, she doesn't need their respect, only their fear.
Right, and the two of them stalk off to deeper into the cave network.
She will go over where the druid is and like help herself to some of the druid's food, and then if there is an option, sit down near her, and near enough that they are now at the same table.
Mm-hmm. There is, there's plenty of seats.
And you have enormous seats. She takes up a whole bench. It's like a love seat just for her.
If you sit closer to her, she acknowledges you as you come over and take some food and water, but again seems to be lost in thought.
Yeah, she'll like scoot forward every couple of minutes until this druid acknowledges her.
Is there something I can help you with?
You are fellowship?
I am.
Why are you here?
I am here because we are tracking your friend's assassin.
What have you learned?
She passed through this way about 2 weeks ago.
She is not my friend. She is my daughter.
Yes, I can see that. But we decided that it was, well, we couldn't allow what had happened to continue, and that you might need some assistance. I'd like Icky to make me an intelligence check as she's talking to Shade.
I would love to fail this check for you since she has a -1 to her intelligence. Oh, Lord. I'm concerned. Oh, you know what? Okay. A 15, so a 14.
14.
Yeah.
You sort of like, as you're kind of like starting to talk to her, you realize that you've had several dreams over the last few days in which Shade has made an appearance as a bystander, or just, like a dream in which there's a mysterious figure that now, as you sort of see and are confronted with, you're like, oh.
Yeah, I imagine that like mid-conversation, then Icky just like locks eyes with her, and then her nostrils flare, and she like licks one eyeball and is, oh, I see. Mind magic.
It's of a sort, but the dreams are a curious thing.
Rude.
It is the only way to track some of you.
Icky is using one of Ellie's words to describe it. Just rude. Does Icky get the sense that this druid knows more than she's letting on?
Yes. Yeah, that's a gimme.
What will happen when you find the assassin?
We intend to apprehend her, or at the very least help Ellie apprehend her.
Kill her?
We would prefer not to kill her because
I prefer kill.
She is one of the few humans that remain. Yes.
What does apprehend?
To capture.
Does Icky like write on that capture word? Does she suspect study?
You suspect more like protect or maybe convert. Give me an insight check for this.
Yeah. Because like she doesn't like any. This sounds like something Mur would say. Ooh. Let's look at. Oh, thank God, I have +5 to insight, so it's a 16.
Yeah. You get the impression that it's not sinister, like, you know, they're not going to put her in a cage and dissect her, but that
I would prefer that.
there is that it's more of perhaps she could be converted or convinced to not be a murderer.
Ew. That doesn't sound like Icky doesn't feel like this sounds like rehabilitation. In Icky's mind, because she's Beastmaster Ranger, she thinks of it as them taking somebody else's pet and trying to use it as their own pet.
Mm-hmm.
And she, being a Beastmaster Ranger, she just doesn't think that bond can be broken. She doesn't think that whatever is going on in this assassin's head is something that can be not rehabilitated, because she doesn't know that word, but it can't be broken and reformed into, like, nobody could form a bond with Skitterstep the way that Icky could.
Mm-hmm.
She is the extension of somebody's will, and that will cannot be contained by somebody who is not them. And that's how Icky kind of like sees her, as like somebody else's like dog that has to be put down.
I see.
Yeah. So she like, when she gets that sense, she like immediately her little neck frills kind of flare a little bit. She doesn't have many because she's a Gila monster, so her spots like darken, and she like puffs up a whole bunch. She just hates this idea so much.
You seem agitated.
I am unhappy.
You do not wish to see your daughter's assassin caught?
I wish to see her dead.
That seems irresponsible, given that she's unique.
I decide responsibility for my daughter's life.
Well, she is your daughter. And at that shade kind of...
It's like narrow eyes, just like sizing each other up, just like, okay, you're going to fall asleep before I do. That's fine. Like, they're both thinking that.
Yeah. Try the figs. Otherwise, Icky's got a day to kill at this.
Yeah. Icky will get up from the table, but when she does, she'll just like keep eye contact and like slide her hand along one of the food's plates until it clatters onto the floor, and then she'll turn around and leave.
Like a cat.
Yeah, like a cat. She'll just like, I'm sorry, lizard folk are so clumsy.
Oh.
And just like walk away.
Right.
Spend too much time with Mur.
Wholeheartedly approve of that. That was beautiful.
Mur's like, her spider senses tingling, her sass sense. She's just like, oh, someone made me proud.
It happens so rarely in the current company. I can't feel it.
Yeah, Icky will just spend the rest of the day fucking around by herself, talking to her centipede who can't understand her.
Yeah. It's a boring, sort of lonely day. You know, most of the inhabitants here break out dice or cards or some other kind of way to pass the time. They tell stories, and apparently to the east of here, a bunch of the dragon worshippers have been sort of stirred up, and there's a lot of them are seen riding along the horizon and the like. But that's about the only news that Icky hears. You do notice that at some point later that day, Yox and Ori, the half ogre and bearded lizard folk, arrive and join Shade at her table.
Icky doesn't like the lizard folk at all, and she stays as far away as like possible because he frankly gives her the creeps.
Yeah, it's the feeling seems to be mutual, as you sort of get the impression you kind of get is that number one, the lizard folk never talks and seems to really only communicate via hand signals or just be talked at. Yox is a gregarious, talkative, like his voice booms and echoes through the caves, jokes, stories, all songs, and really just makes a nuisance of himself.
She's mad that she missed the opportunity to poison them, but she'll get over it.
Yox is jolly pragmatic and living his best life.
Yeah, he really is.
Just like
I'm a hero.
This is great. I get to kill monsters in the desert. But Ori has a sort of violent quietness to them that is that probably is kind of unsettling to some.
Yeah, it's probably prized among lizard folk mercenaries. Ugh. It's so lizard folk. Icky hates it.
Just too much.
Ugh. Like, who are you trying to impress?
So basic.
Right. There is a cutting back real quick to our heroes over in the Medusa's lair. At sometime in the evening, Myrrh gets a curious mental message. Helen is contacting Myrrh via magic. I hate to bother you. I know that you are on the trail of Ellie's killer, but I thought you should know that Ishtar sent 3 of her companions out to track Ellie on the insistence of Thrax. He was very concerned when you left here, and I don't know if there's any ulterior motive, but you should watch out.
Hit up mute. Myrrh would respond because she assumes she can respond with a few words. It is never a bother for you to contact me, Helen. Thank you very much for this information. We will be on the lookout, and I have multiple eyes on Ellie to ensure her safety.
Is she okay?
Yes, she is making friends and doing well.
Excellent. That's great. I know that, well, there are many of us here who wish to see her again and hope that we hope that it all works out.
We will return once our mission is completed. Thank you again for your healing. It has done wonders.
It was my pleasure, she says to you. Before I go, there was a break-in at the pyramid. It seems as though there is a group of servitors out in the wastes, and they knew of a secret way in. They were apprehended and some of them caught, but many of them escaped. I do not know if it's any connection to Gildan, but I know.
Were they singing and dancing?
They were not.
It was most likely not connected.
It did not have his fingerprints, but
it had his stink.
It did. But again, I wanted you to be aware in case there were repercussions.
Thank you. I will inform Gildan of this and perhaps find out who at whose behest they broke into the pyramid. I doubt it was their own.
Yes, at the very least, it has occupied Ishtar for a while, and
good. Give her something else to do.
Yes. And at that, you can feel the sort of the magic of the spell ending. I'm assuming everybody who was at the Medusas are sort of on their way back to the run. It's not quite a full day before Rix arrives at the encampment, and he arrives in force. Right, Rix has acquired a bit of a reputation as a bit of an outlaw, bit of a bandit, and
Outlaw country.
rides with a crew of about 12 or so that make their way across the northern wastes there. And as he comes in, you can see he's got two people with him. One of them is just a nasty looking goblin, just weather beaten and with a look of cruelty on its face. And the other is a servitor in the full sort of regalia with the form-fitting armor, the goggles, it's been reinforced with bone and scrap and the like. But you see Rix walk in with the two of them and make sort of like scanning the different caves until they find Icky. You seek him out or wait for him to come to you?
Icky waits. In fact, what she does is she will see him, and where she's sitting, all she'll do is like pivot in the chair and like kind of like do like an awkward lounge thing against the wall and just like make contact with him with her eyes until he comes over to her. Mm-hmm. Really, she doesn't want to get up. She's got like a cramp in her leg. She's just like, but just basically like a "I'm not scared of you" like posture.
Yeah, they the trio work their way over to Icky, and as it does, Rick's sort of like his waddle becomes a bit more steady, and he gets within the same cave that Icky's at, and gives you a grin of sort of greeting and Icky, it has been so long since we've seen each other. It's so good to see you.
I wonder why that is.
I don't know what you're referring to. It's not right for broodmates to go so long without seeing each other.
I wouldn't know. All of my broodmates are dead.
It's a tragedy, I know, but surely the two of us can make amends.
I don't know. Let me hold up my hand and count the reasons we should not. Oh man, that was a good one.
I know. All right. You guys are back. I can see you.
Can chat tell us the last thing they heard?
Yeah.
All right, chat. What was the last thing you heard?
Yeah. Wait a second while you catch up.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Aw.
Hey, when in doubt. No, see, that won't even get picked up on the recording. Dagnabbit.
Oh, yeah, there we go. So, yes. So the last thing some people heard was the hand. Yeah, they missed the reveal.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, so when Icky does hold up her hand, she tells him 1, 2, 3 sons, 1, 2 daughters. And unfortunately, like, I'm not gonna go back into it because my voice is hurting a little because I keep shotgunning these orange sodas. But she and Rix essentially reveal that she did have a nest that the eggs mysteriously disappeared when they were out in the wastes together.
It was very hot, and we were all hungry.
All hungry. There are more who owe me a debt.
None. I take the debt on, Icky.
This will take 1 daughter. 4 reasons remain.
Then there is progress. My broodmate, I only wish to return to your favor.
Well, we will see. I need someone dead. I need you to help.
Who is it that you wish slain and brought to your feet?
She is soft skin, young, and Icky is not good at describing or drawing, but she like draws like a weird approximation, like on a piece of paper that she's taken from one of Ellie's many notebooks.
It looks like an orc? I do not know.
No, they are not orcs. They're smaller. They're almost somewhere between orc and goblin. It's 5 fingers, no claws, no tusks.
Why is this creature not already dead?
She was fast. She left. She is very sneaky.
I will put my best Outriders on it.
You will accompany. You will go.
Of course.
You will kill her.
Would you be here?
No, I have other matters. I have a daughter to return to.
Well, when the sun sets, we will depart.
Kill her. Send me a message when you do.
Of course.
If she kills you first, all is forgiven.
I doubt that will happen. But I will be pleased to know that your heart has forgiveness for me.
So, get out of my sight.
I will.
He shifts his weight and waddles out of the cavern. The goblin that he is with, who you know is named Stanker, is... Yeah, I was waiting for you to take that drink.
You sure did. You were like, hell yeah, orange soda.
And it's Stanker gives you a look of
The
just
stank
sort of-
guy? Give me the stank guy.
before
High five, Mer. Yeah, high five. Boom.
before turning and following his master out of the caves, or they go into another one where their mounts and the rest of the like are.
You will give him her best smile with her dentures. One that shows like all of her back teeth.
Right. He's kind of like coldly for following after.
Yeah.
Don't
Sorry.
Oh no.
I'm sorry. I keep clicking buttons.
It's okay. I'll get you in the
It's
right
fine.
spot.
All right.
Kills the drama, but that's fine. At least we're done.
So give me an idea here. Icky has about 4-ish days before you can expect to see your companions again. When you last saw them, they were towing a bunch of people who were having to walk across the desert. So you know that it'll be a while before you see them again.
Yeah, so when she's finished her meeting with Rix and everything, she goes ahead and does some trading, tries to get new weapons, things like that. And she also tries to do some gossip and keep tabs on the Fellowship and when they leave, which direction they go in. All kinds of subterfuge.
Yox and Ori seem to make daily trips out starting at sunset and stay out all night. But Shade never leaves the encampment. In the evening, like takes a walk outside and the like, but is never that far from the place. Whereas most everyone else, they spend 1 or 2 nights here and then they're back on whatever travel it is that they were on. It doesn't. After the rest of the party leaves the Medusa lair, it really takes y'all less than a night's travel to get to this encampment. And unless there's any last thing that Icky would like to do as while she's there by herself, we can go ahead and get the rest of the party on their route.
Nope, that's it for her.
In that case, you guys leave the Medusa's lair and head southward to where you were meeting Icky at her rendezvous. Is there... I think at this point, I'm curious to know what y'all's plans are. Oh, we lost someone else. No! We lose Myrrh.
Yeah, Lindy disappeared. Oh no!
After
I wonder if your internet got flooded out. We're getting hit by a tropical storm right now.
Yeah, is it Tropical Storm Michael? Is that what's going on right now?
That's what they're calling it.
Yeah. My friend in Georgia's house is like decimated by her tree.
Oh,
that's bad.
She's okay. They all got out and everything. Her cats are missing though.
That sucks.
Oh, yeah.
Hope she can find them. But they're not flooded, so the cats will probably come back if they put out a litter box.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if your cat is missing, if you put their litter box out, they can like smell themselves, so they'll come back to their litter box.
That's a good idea.
That
I don't know.
is a good tip.
Yeah.
So we'll give Lindy just a second to get back. In the meantime, for the rest of you guys, mostly I'm curious sort of what your next move is. That's fine.
Still in the castle, Medusa's lair.
I got the impression you stayed there like maybe one evening or one day rather before setting out again.
Because I would have liked, or Ellie would have liked to talk to her mom.
Okay, sure.
If possible.
Yep, that is definitely possible.
All right, cool. Okay, so this is the next day?
Yeah, let's be the next day.
Okay. Would she be chilling in her throne room, or?
It's kind of she's either in her throne room, found walking the halls, or there have been times when you're just like, I didn't even know you. I thought I was alone, and then there's a Medusa. They seem to come and go without too much difficulty.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I would say that Ellie's just walking about. If there was an equivalent of chocolate milk in this world, that's probably what she'd be drinking. Think about it.
Yeah.
So basically me, IRL.
Yeah.
So she'll be drinking whatever this chocolate milk is, and then she'll kind of look down as she's like thinking of what she's going to say to the Medusa. And then she looks up and she's right there.
Bam.
Hello, madame. Good evening, day, morning.
Hello.
So can we talk? We need to talk.
Are
you busy?
Fine. I'm not busy. What is it that I can help you with?
Well, as you might know, because you're probably really close to your daughter, and you talk to her about stuff, and, like, stuff about, like, and then she tries to think of the word. She's like, is it female? Is it, people talk? I don't know. Daughter, mother talk. Does she seem weird to you? She seems very different to me.
My daughter is... She seems satisfied to me.
Are you? I mean, I don't want to question your judgment at all. You know, all respect here for you. And then she does like a weird bow. But I mean, I am her best friend, and I've noticed that she's acting a little different.
Is she? I'm not sure that I've noticed, but she is quite... well, she does not always reveal what she thinks.
I mean, somebody doesn't necessarily have to reveal what they think. Sometimes you could just look at a person and know that they're not feeling 100%. If that makes sense.
It does make sense.
Yeah, and I get you might be busy creating your army for... And then she, like, gestures to, like, her to tell her. For...
She says...
And then she plays that.
My own purposes.
For your own purposes. Thank you. 5 minutes later. And it's just something that I learned from my moms and, you know, my family.
To talk.
Yes, to talk about our feelings and to always be aware of how other people are feeling, even though sometimes we have to murder people, you know, for the good of the world. You understand that, right?
Yes, sometimes people need to die.
Yes. And sometimes they don't. And sometimes they're not happy. Like, I wasn't happy where I was living previously because my dad didn't understand me. So I just went off into the world and now I'm happy, right? So, I don't know, what if you just let your daughter go on vacation or something? That could maybe make her happy.
You're asking on her behalf if she can leave for a while.
Not really. It's just I'm saying that that's what makes people happy, adventure. So since I am looking, or yesterday I saw your daughter and I didn't really talk to her besides like a brief second, but you could see that she was kind of very sad here and here.
See, she's yet to remove her heart and replace it with stone, so I can see that it is a difficult thing for her to adjust to. Give me a persuasion roll real quick for Ellie.
Oh, where's my dice? Where is it?
Metaphor, not metaphor.
Persuasion. Ooh, 18.
I find your words persuasive, Ellie. Perhaps it would do my daughter good to see a bit of the world and understand it. She has my blessing, if that is what she wishes.
Yeah, do you want to tell her? Should I tell her? Because you guys should have like a mother-daughter talk. Because obviously you want to have a good relationship with your daughter. I get it. You can be... She thinks of the words very carefully. I don't know how else to put it, but Gildan taught me these words. A hard ass. So...
What?
Accurate. I can. The power that we wield is quite extraordinary, and it takes willfulness to use it. She must learn that on her own. I can see now that perhaps staying here, she would not develop into the woman she should become.
I mean, you're her mom. You know her better than I do. Even though she's my best friend of like 3 days. But... So, yeah, I just want you guys to be happy. I want you to be understanding.
There's wisdom in your words, and perhaps you are right. I will give my blessing to her to go forth as she sees fit. Is there anything else?
This chocolate milk is really good.
Yes. She's like, where did you get that?
Do you want to try it?
Yes. Sip.
It's like a Mad Max swirly straw. She accidentally blows some bubbles with it. They're busy all day.
Right. This is amazing. As this is like occurring as the groups are getting ready to depart that day, the sun is setting, or the suns rather are setting. You'll have a good long trip ahead of you. There is, if there's no other business at the Medusa's lair, she has a parting word. Natharia has a parting word for Gildan as the group leaves. Your invincible army will be here shortly. I've seen it. I trust that as my emissary, you will carry out my will when I call upon it, or when I call upon you, rather. This is to Gildan.
If her goddess calls, her prophet shall hear.
Excellent. Go forth.
She's going to get let down.
I will call upon you when the time is right.
Gildan wipes his recently completely bald head and stone skins up, turns into Mecha Gildan, and promptly starts skedaddling because he's like, look, I've crossed a few lines today, and now I've got to figure out how to create an ocean. I've got some ideas using a bag of devouring. If I could find one of those, maybe I just find the infernal machine of Lum the Mad, and we all die. I don't know. I've got to come up with something.
Like, the mind begins to scramble.
Yes, because I was just like, all right, so if I cast Wall of Water into this, maybe? I don't know.
Knows.
Yes. I'm going to show up next week with just unfold these blueprints and just be like, all right, how many spell slots do we have?
Right. Anyone else have any last minute any last minute business? The landscape zooms by as Myrrh at the controls of the air skiff leads it across the rocky plain between the petrified forest and the hills just north of the Fellowship. And navigating through the narrow defiles and the rocky hills where not too long ago you were tracking down false Ellie and discovered the bound figure of a Kroithoic axe streamer, and leads you to a small hollowed out place in a cliffside through which you can see a door which has soft illumination coming from under it. It looks like there are a group of some sort of travelers gathering up their belongings and everything to bring inside, as it's really only a couple of hours before daybreak, having basically made like what took you the last time you did this 4 days, did it in a matter of like 6 hours. So at this point, our groups are reunited as Ellie and Blue and Gildan and Myrrh make their way towards this Wastelander encampment where Icky's been waiting for the last 4 days.
Hello, Icky.
Hello, Balu.
Icky, I have so much to tell you.
Mhm.
My best friend. Well, maybe I shouldn't talk about it here. But I kind of made somebody happy because I talked to their mom, and their mom was like, "Yeah, that sounds like a good idea," and they called me Wise.
Icky, like, while Ellie is telling her this, has like her hand on either side of her head and is like turning her head to the side and like sniffs her hair and like holds her arms up and
For parasites or
yeah,
something?
this is she's just making sure that she hasn't been inadvertently poisoned in the 4 days that Icky hasn't seen her. And I'm sure that every time Icky comes back from Baloo's house, she does this. It's like a whole routine.
Mhm.
Yeah, Ellie's not bothered by it.
Yeah.
It's normal.
Good. So, Icky,
Yeah.
what business did you have here?
Business.
Yeah. Why were you hanging out here?
Business.
Oh, why were you here?
Business.
Cool. Excellent.
Oh,
That's
and
good.
there were a fellowship.
Shade is still here.
Oh, Shade is here?
Mhm.
Icky will like kind of like thumb over her shoulder. Oh, and they are here.
Okay.
Earlier today, or actually earlier yesterday, the newest arrivals were a sort of massive crimson-skinned tiefling and a drow who seems sulky and kind of sullen. They both made their way towards a dark corner and are by themselves. They're the newest arrivals here. There's about probably, I don't know, 4 others who are at this place.
There are many fellowship. They want to find it, like Icky like realizes at this moment that she has like no idea what the name of this assassin is. the one who is not Ellie.
Yeah, do y'all? Does anyone? I'm just sort of metagame. I can't remember if any of the anyone knows her.
I want to say Gildan
Gildan
got it at one
knows her
point.
name.
That's where, yeah.
I even at
But-
one point cast locate creature on her and was tracking her
Yeah.
myself.
But I don't think he told the party her name. I think he calls her False Ellie. So Icky would say False Ellie too then.
I think we went through this before. We called her False Ellie for a while, but then I think after going through that the first time, Gildan did in fact reveal her name. I can't remember it though.
I think it's Cortica, but
Yeah.
Corsicas
or Corsica.
Yeah, Corsica.
Dang, I just put Cortica all through these notes. I'm real mad.
Just Control F, replace.
Look,
I know that feeling.
I have to push a button.
Effort expended.
Just to make you mad.
So the Baloo and Icky have this exchange, and you can see through in one of the other caves that's here, right? There's sort of like 3 caves connected by these wide tunnels, so that you can, whichever one you're in, you can kind of tell who's in the other 2. That you can see Shade, who is basically spends every day creating food and water for whoever's here, because why not?
I imagine whenever like they were coming in and Icky was like walking past Shade's table to get to them and greet them, she still like skirted her hand along the top of the table and like knocked a plate off. And, like without even looking at her, just like
Just kicks with a tail or something.
boom.
Yeah.
At one point, she like let Skitter Step run on the table. So Baloo definitely sees her like knock over one of Shade's food plates.
Does Baloo know Shade?
You know of her.
No.
Yeah. You know that Shade is one of many recruits from the Fellowship who came from the Wastes itself, and she had some sort of experience on the Tree Beyond, which is what the Fellowship refers to the land that you can access through the Tree of Andrus, and came back with some sort of vision or something, and has a reputation in the Fellowship of being a bit of a mystic, a bit of a a bit of I don't know what you call it, not a zealot, but someone who deeply spiritual, I guess is the best way to describe it.
And she's a druid.
Yes.
I'm gonna go talk with her.
Okay.
I'll pick up the plate that got knocked off and put it back on the table.
All right.
And then I'll talk with her in Druidic and just I just say hello.
Greetings, Blue.
Greetings. So, my reptilian friend says that you guys are here looking for Corsica?
Yes. Thrax was quite concerned about the assassination, and after not hearing anything, decided that we should assist, but I don't think that your friends want our assistance.
Yeah, I was going to say, why do you care about this?
I care, mostly because Thrax cares. But as humanity was once a part of this world, in order for it to be healed, they must have a place in it here as well. This new world of ours.
I do believe that. I don't know if we should be setting up breeding programs just yet, though.
That is not something I was aware of. The possibility.
Oh, I guess that's just me.
Who would they breed with?
Maybe they breed asexually. I don't know. I really don't know anything about humans. Other than that, one that I know of is really very kind, possibly the nicest person I've ever met, and the other is an assassin. So,
yes, Ellie has made quite the impression on Thrax. He feels a closeness to her. His mother was human. Did you know?
No, I didn't.
She was one of the last, as I understand it.
Well, you're probably not going to get a lot of assistance from us, but I wanted you to know that we have no intention of missing out on this. It's personal for a lot of us.
I understand. It seems as though she is quite precious to you. Our quarrel is manufactured, Baloo. Ishtar only wishes the truth, and I am a servant of the tree. I wish only for what is good for this world. You have nothing to fear from us, despite your mistrust.
I just wanted to make sure your intentions were in the right place. That's all.
Trust us, Baloo.
I don't know about that. And then Baloo will knock the bowl off the table as he leaves.
Yes, get wrecked.
just playfully, but he'll do it.
Eat it, scrub.
So you have about an hour before sunrise. It like I said, there's people arriving. They're putting their animals in that shelf cave that's sort of the that forms the entrance to this cave complex. Is that the only thing I'm curious about now is sort of like what y'all's next move, what anyone else y'all want to talk to, or just where you want to go from here.
Well, Ellie would want to talk to what's her face.
The druid?
Yes.
Jade.
She's the one that helped her, right, when she was sick?
No, that's Helen, the Aasimar, actual life cleric, is what Helen is.
Okay, but that chick was like the bodyguard or something, Thrax.
She was present. You've seen her both at the Tree of Andrus before, as well as with Ishtar, who was investigating Myrrh.
Okay,
that's where you've seen Shade before.
So she wasn't the one that gave me the tour?
No.
Okay.
No, that was Helen.
Okay. Well, Ellie will go up to her and be like, "Hello, nice to see you again. So how is my friend Thrax? How is he doing?"
He does well. He journeys in the tree beyond quite often now, but his spirits are up. It's good.
Is he eating well?
He's eating well. He'll be glad to know you asked about him.
I like him.
I think he's fond of you. He sees something familiar in you.
Well, it's probably something good.
I think so. Are you feeling all right? No lingering effects from the poison?
None that I know of, but I think I'm pretty good. And she like checks all her like muscles and joints and stuff.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's at this point that there's a commotion from from the back cave as two figures approach Ellie and Shade, the crimson-skinned drow, the crimson-skinned tiefling and the drow, the emo drow, and they seem to be approaching Ellie aggressively, and are like the tiefling is, you think you can just come back in here after what you did, and without it, like, we're gonna have a showdown rematch.
Wait, sir, are you talking to me?
You like looking, yeah.
A
Yeah, you
rematch?
can't get
For
away
what?
with it. And they've got like hands on. They are
No.
serious.
Yeah. Gildan says, "How about you and I go right now?"
Yeah, they definitely hear a raptor shriek, and Icky like picks up a chair to throw it.
Yeah. Gildan says, "Unarmed combat. Want to wrestle? I've been waiting for you all night."
The tiefling seems like he would just snap you in half.
And you know what? I beg to differ. As I stone skin up, and I'm like, "Look, you might think you're tough because you're tall, but you ain't got no technique."
Let's see these muscles.
Yeah.
Listen,
I haven't killed anyone in 3 weeks.
Do you know how to sew? Because I'm ripped.
There's just like fisticuffs are out.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
I let him know. Unarmed
Everybody
combat,
just-
I'll go with
just calm
him.
down. Just calm down.
We want to talk about it down.
Everybody breathe in and breathe out.
You're a barbarian. You're supposed to rage at this stuff. Urgh.
I don't-
might be a
Ready to throw that
misunderstanding.
Right. He's ready to throw a chair. Ellie's trying to calm things down. How about
I tell him,
Gildan?
we settle this now. I say, look, if he can take me one-on-one, unarmed combat, we'll settle this later after what she pulled.
You know her?
I know everybody.
Blue's just gonna say she hasn't been here. She's been with us.
We talking about it with you.
She hasn't been here.
Who are you? Who are you?
Well, who are you?
My name is Jeff.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez.
Is that my Jeff?
And this is Frank.
Hi,
We have a
hi,
score to settle.
Jeff and Frank.
How do you know? How do you know her?
Doesn't matter to you. She came on us in the middle of the night, right before the sun came up. Got us all quarreling with each other, and now we've got. She fought us, both of us.
And you lost.
And at that, he seems like super. And Jeff's used an axe, if I recall.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you see, most everyone here is armed. There's no, it's just sort of an understanding that you take things outside.
Wait a second. So.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna be that guy, but like, Frank just had a pretty recent breakup, didn't he?
Oh yes, that's true. And actually, there's a bit of a moment as Jeff. Thank you for reminding me. Jeff is
no problem.
Sort of like, who are you? And a moment, a look of recognition between the two of them, and just like, Blue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Oh, hi.
Oh, I'm so excited.
And it does not seem to have made them any less.
Hi. This is my friend Ellie.
Would be with her, wouldn't you? Did you send her after us?
No.
Just couldn't let things alone.
I don't know. We had a good time.
This is so much better.
We had a good time. We ended things amicably, right?
Hey, Baloo, this is the guy you said was a premature ejaculator.
Gildan? Gildan, I need you to go to your corner.
Oh, I'm already in the corner.
Jerry Springer in the waist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at this point, other people, like 3 or 4 other bystanders come in. Shade is sitting at her table, right where she and Ellie were discussing.
Where's Mur with her calm emotions?
Mur's out securing the thing.
Gildan has his, but I'm up.
Mur is with a client. Okay. This is where Mur is.
Okay.
Listen, Jeff, was it?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I think you have me confused with my evil twin sister. Because I don't like fighting, even though people tell me I am a thing called a barbarian. I don't know what that is. Frankly, I don't care. No pun intended to you, Frank. But I would fight you guys just because I would need a motive. So, did you hurt any of them? She pulls out her notebook, flips to the next page.
And there's tensions are high, right? Like Jeff has his hand on an axe handle. Frank is clearly about preparing to cast a spell. There's bystanders nearby who may or may not decide to jump in. Icky's got a chair. Gildan seems to be.
I'm gonna shoot a high crouch at him. I'm gonna put him on his back.
And like looking menacing.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say, level 8. I took the grappler feat for this very reason, so I can pin people and cast spirit guardians.
Just FYI, I forgot to level up Icky, but I know what feat she took, and this is gonna be bad.
Your throwing feat?
No.
Oh, I hope it's Tavern Brawler. That's what we need.
Right. Hand comes off the axe. All right, you got a minute.
Okay.
Evil twin.
Yes. She tried to kill me. She'll vouch for me. And they will all vouch for me. I just got here. But if you want to, get your emotions out, I can arm wrestle you if that makes you feel better. But it wasn't me. And I'm sorry if she did, something bad. And you don't deserve it. And I put my hand on his shoulder.
Oh.
And it's gonna be okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Seeing that a fight was averted, Frank starts to walk back towards the back cavern, and Jeff just looks at Shade, nodding her head of yeah, she's telling the truth, and sort of some of the others, and he just gives Baloo a giant middle finger, and just sulks off into the
Hey,
back cavern.
you need that finger worse than he does.
All right,
Sorry.
you guys.
That's your number, man. Yeah.
I gotta
No
stop
arm
sleeping
wrestling.
around.
Awesome. That's good.
All right. It's fine then. Fine.
No violence.
Twin, expect us to believe there's more than one of this, whatever it is that you are. That's fine. That's fine. And he just like muttering to himself as he walks back into the back room. Extensions diffused. There.
What are you talking about? We're gonna stew. We're gonna get all riled up. They can't come and talk to Ellie that way.
You can hear him grumbling and grousing, and some of the bystanders seem to be upset that there wasn't a bigger fight.
Icky is equally upset that there was not a bigger fight, but she'll sit back down and eat the food that was knocked over.
They want a bigger fight. Bystanders?
Blue feels partially responsible for all of this, so he's debating on whether they're going to talk to them or not.
Is there a champion among you?
Icky like makes eye contact with Baloo and is just like,
And while they're distracted looking at each other, Ellie's gonna go and talk to them.
No.
Okay. All right.
Baloo,
Ellie
you
goes.
have enough relationship issues.
He's got to kick this habit. He's got to kick this habit.
Someday.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Right. So Ellie goes back and
Oh boy.
Ellie goes back in the cavern, and it's like it's noticeably dimmer in here. Many of the candles and the like that were on the tables and on the shelves have been put out, and it's just the two of them. Jeff, the tiefling, is pacing back and forth, just like, can you believe the nerve of those people? And Baloo, of all people, to show up here like that. Like, do we not have enough problems in the world? Had all our stuff taken, just left there in the middle of the desert? Frank's just nodding.
Hello, it's me. Again.
Yeah, what is it?
So, I want to know... So, I really don't know how to convince you that it was my evil twin. But I want to ask you guys some things, if that's okay. She opens up her book, flips the next page.
Make me a persuasion check.
Sure. 15?
It seems as though Frank is willing to talk, but Jeff's just like, you know what? I'm just gonna go outside. I need the sun. I need the sun. I gotta have it on me. And he like
That's
stalks out of the. You see him. Everybody sees him. He makes a big stink of it as he walks outside. Frank is still there. My friend is. He gets upset easily.
Yeah, I could tell. It seemed like his red hair was kind of full of flames.
Yeah, he's a. Well, I don't want to stereotype him, but he's a
Well,
hothead.
yeah, this is fine. So it really was my evil twin sister, but I want to know where she went, what you saw, what was she wearing?
Oh, I mean, this is back before the heat, so we were, well, let's just say we were traveling together, me and Jeff and some other people, and this woman just kind of came upon us. We were getting ready to make camp for the night, and it's weird. Some of the other people we were traveling with, they just left. Didn't really know why. I haven't seen them since. But and it's just me and Jeff with her, and she got to talking to us, and I don't know how it got so out of hand, but we were at each other's throats within minutes.
Like you and the evil twin, or you and
Yeah.
Jeff?
No, not Jeff. Jeff's good people.
Okay.
And she well, don't tell Jeff this, but she made quick work of us. It was a bit humiliating. I barely escaped. Again, yeah, don't tell Jeff, because he'd be really upset about it if I told you this.
Okay.
But he can really run when he needs to, So we left, right? She just she has a weapon that you don't feel pain when she hits you with it, and so you don't know how hurt you are or what she's done to you. And I'm not cut out for that. So that was the last we saw her. She took our stuff, and we've been out here ever since.
Was she with a pet, a companion?
Not that I know of. I mean, maybe she had a ride, but when she came on us, it was just her. That's why we offered her a place at the fire, because we thought she was lost or whatever. So, yeah.
And how did this weapon look like?
It's a knife or something. It's weird. It didn't reflect any light from the fire or anything, so it's difficult to see. It's like it wasn't made of metal.
But you guys weren't sick or anything? Like poisoned?
Not that I know of, no. And he shows you scars, like Riley lifts up a part of his traveling robe, and he's got like fresh wounds on his right side, arm and torso.
It does look very bad. Okay, is there anything else I should know? Like which way she went?
We fled west, and we haven't seen her since. Really only now started to head back, just trying to find some place to be. But as near as I know, she took our stuff and went east.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So it was like weapons and stuff that you guys lost to her, right?
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, so I know when I go kill her with my hands, I know where to take the lost stuff. So, thank you very much.
Sister?
Well, yeah, she tried to kill me, and I almost died. So...
Man, we got mixed up in something weird.
Yep.
And he's sort of like, I don't know, almost glad I ran away. Good luck to you.
Thanks. Tell your friend that he'll be okay.
Yeah,
she awkwardly walks away.
She just needs to calm down. And he goes back to doing whatever it was emo drow do.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
So this conversation takes a while. What about everybody else? Ellie's gone off to talk to Frank. How about Blue and Icky and Gildan?
I would have been tailing right behind because I wasn't involved in the exchange looks, and I don't trust nor do I like these guys. They came in very aggressively.
Yeah, are you making an attempt to hide yourself, or are you just
No, it's one of those things where it's like, look, I want to make sure they leave, and I want to make sure they don't come back. And if they do come back, I'm going to bestow curse on them.
Goblin bouncer.
Well, Frank's not going anywhere during the day. He's content to sit at his little table.
Right now he is, but I might force him to brave the daytime.
Yeah.
Blue's not going to step between a fight between his lovers. He's just not going to do it.
You're not, are you? Blue's just going to let this all play out.
I mean, at this point, Blue should just become a pacifist because it's like half the NPC cast.
Well, what's he worried about? I'll just put a bag over his head and march him out.
Who's that? Frank?
Yeah, I think so. I
And
want him to
hide
know that
all
he
of that beautiful white eyeliner.
can't
Yeah.
stay here. He's got to go.
Oh, you say this to him?
Yeah, his behavior was unacceptable. He's got to go.
You
Frank
can't
have
kick
an
me
eye
out
on?
of here. This is for this place for everybody. You know.
No,
Just,
no, it's for everybody but
myself.
you. You got to go.
It's too. It is way too hot outside.
It's about to get too hot in here if you stay in here. Do not make me display force.
Wait, are you telling it to Frank?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
telling that to Frank.
He's bullying
He can't
Frank.
stay.
Listen,
Check out.
Golden, he ended up being a very sweet guy, and
You don't know that. He could be deceiving you. You're naive.
yeah.
Ouch.
And then she's like, naive?
Yeah, exactly. Go ask Murr about them words. I don't trust this guy.
I think it'll be okay. He gave me
And
some
like
information.
secretly, like Gildan's just like, this is an X. Yeah. It's more about that.
Oh my god.
Oh.
What do you even care?
Yeah, Gildan's just
Because it's the matter of principle. It's the
Oh
land
my
between
gosh.
two blues.
You don't even. Ew.
Like
Like you're not even interested anymore.
He ain't. Sometimes it takes a little bit. It's like a racing horse. He just trots along until he sees another racing horse.
Yeah, he's got to bow up. Listen, I
He's
don't
gotta
have
go.
any- I don't have any problem with you, friend. We just mistook your companion for someone who tried to murder us in the middle of the desert.
So I want you to go in there and apologize to the other two then.
Who else?
The bugbear.
Baloo?
Yeah. Baloo. I want you to go apologize to Baloo in front of everyone.
I'm not apologizing to Baloo. Baloo
No,
should
you're going to apologize to Baloo.
apologize to me. That's how it's
Listen.
gonna be.
Listen.
Deal.
I'm going to grapple them and drag them in their Wyatt Earp style.
Okay.
All right. So
If you need his stats, Jim, I've got
Sorry.
them.
it's
I'm
okay.
just I've got some stats.
That's fine.
I got a
That's fine.
24. I
God.
get advantage on this.
Yeah, I got like a 3.
So
Weighs
he is
like
now
12 pounds.
he's
Yeah,
now
that's
restrained for all intents and purposes.
Uh-huh.
While I have him restrained,
Can you prevent him from casting verbal spells?
what's
But
that?
he does a
Can you-
subtle spell.
Can you prevent him from casting? Number one, can you prevent him from casting verbal only spells? And I don't think you can prevent him from casting magic subtly.
I have a couple things that I could do to him if I wanted to do to him, but he's got to understand, if he now resists, now that he's been manhandled, he might die here in the land between two rivers, so he wants to be careful. Is it worth dying over apologizing to Baloo? With that said, he is restrained. His movement 0. He has disadvantage on all saving throws. I'm thinking about bestowing a curse on him, but not just yet. I'm going to drag him up to Baloo. What's that?
He goes invisible. You're still grappling him, but he is invisible.
Okay, so he's invisible now.
You didn't
He's-
hear anything. You didn't see anything. It just happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's grappled until I end up or I give up the grappling him. Essentially, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, "Hey, who's got some mud, some chum, or some blood? I need you to smear it right around where my hands are."
You're no longer holding him. Something happened. He's not there.
He's not there.
Mhm.
All right. I'm going to cast See Invisibility.
Let's see where he is. You see him running out. First off, let's cast it. Let's roll initiative.
All right, because I'm gonna. Might I mind you that I can dash as a bonus action, and
Yep.
I can catch this guy and murder him, but
Uh-huh.
not right now. We're gonna get this guy. I'm wasting everyone's
It's not even
time.
worth it.
Right.
Not
Gildan's
to
costing
you.
a big
This is what I live for. This is me and Jim slap boxing with D&D spells.
I got an 18 for my initiative.
Well, I got a 22. So
Okay. Anybody
All right.
else?
where is he?
He is running out. He's making his way out of the place, right? Like he had teleported and is running.
Okay, so teleport as in a misty step.
He is 90 feet from you.
Okay. He's 90 feet from me.
Mhm.
So I'm going to first... I'm going to use my move to get 60 feet away, and then I'm going to cast Command, spell save DC 15, and I'm going to command him to grovel.
Goblin bully.
That's wisdom.
Hashtag goblin bully.
Yeah.
He sort of stops in his tracks and for a brief moment gets down on, does the action of groveling for a brief moment. He is in the, he's out the door, still in the cave, right? So you can see just the intense heat of the morning suns baking the hills outside. This cave is about 20 feet deep and is packed with all sorts of animals and other things, including there is Mur's dome of the Leoman's tiny hut on the airship is also
Yeah, and I'm not done with my turn, so then I'm going to bonus action to close. I should be within 30 feet of him now. And I'm essentially telling him, just apologize to Baloo. I'll let you live.
Everybody hears all this, right? By the way, and Baloo and Ellie and all the rest of the
getting barring initiative, Baloo's going to be like,
you can roll if you want to act, but otherwise.
I did. I got terrible, so I'll go last.
Okay.
I'm just going to tell him, just leave him alone. Come on, Gelden.
Not to mention on his turn, essentially his turn ends while he's falls prone and is groveling, which will allow me to close the gap on him. And I'm going to say, just whisper to me that you're sorry to him, and that's good enough.
Sorry, I met him. You hear?
And I lean into and I go, me too. Only I don't mean it. And then I start walking back.
He like breaks his neck. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Icky kind of turns away from everything and takes her food with her. Just
yeah.
Icky,
of course,
go get your strange
you can
mates.
see him as he's still in.
And then I'm gonna cure wounds on him, heal him, and I'm also, as a reaction, I'm going to dampen elements, so any fire damage or anything like that, any nonsense that he may have taken. I just want him to kind of feel a change, and then I'm going to kind of give him a knowing nod and then go back.
Okay. He stays there invisible for another round or two as he watches Gildan go back to inside. Anyone else do anything? He's still invisible, right? So
is
really
he using greater invisibility?
It appears so. He's been casting spells while invisible.
All right.
Just eats her food. She just sits there and eats her food and is like, Baloo, get your strange mates.
Baloo's he's in the corner now.
Please.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a lock of his hair that I slurp down.
She'll stand up and be like, come, Ellie. And walk off to a different cavern.
Yeah, that was so unnecessary.
I know.
Heck, Goblin Bully.
You do you, I do me.
Goblin Bully.
Whose man is this?
There's a bunch of just everybody's just since y'all arrived, there's been so much commotion. It was peaceful for 4 days.
Yeah.
People just played cards and dice, and in the hour since y'all have arrived, there have been nearly 2 fights, one actual fight.
He played apocalyptic shuffleboard.
Exactly.
We had bingo in the back caverns.
So Jeff is nowhere to be found, seemingly going on walkabout during the daytime, and then Frank seems to find a dark corner of that opening cave and is otherwise just not going back into the inner caves of the encampment here. Give me an idea, sort of, what's y'all's next move? Are you planning on picking up the trail, or are
I would.
yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ellie, Blue, what's y'all's plan for picking back up the trail here?
Oh, amazing cat.
Did Rix leave like right after the meeting?
Yeah, he didn't stay that long. And they are equipped to travel and survive during the day, you know.
Yeah. Icky will know that Rix will leave some manner of symbols like picking up the trail and stuff, so she'll be pretty interested in seeing if there's anything that he's picked up or anything he sends her and things like that.
It's not long after this scuffle. In fact, even as Gildan's heading back inside, you can see Yax and Ori are returning from their daily excursion and are making their way back in. How long do y'all stay at the encampment? Are y'all pretty much just like going to rest up and then head out, or what?
I would probably rest and then.
Yeah, if we don't need to stay here any longer, just more trouble's just gonna. More boyfriends are gonna show up. Gonna happen.
You're like a magnet.
Yeah.
Well, it helps when you got a lot. When you got a lot of them.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, a nice stable of disgruntled exes.
Did Frank and Jeff notice Axe Dreamer?
Oh, Axe Dreamer is where is Axe Dreamer?
I assume he can go far from the skiff.
He probably is not that far from the skiff, and maybe like you haven't really been there that long. He probably like arrives and gets back to you. Whether they saw him or not, they didn't make note of it. But Axe Dreamer does join you after all the commotion. What's all this about? Everybody okay?
He just like silently gives him some floor food.
Dusts it off.
Somebody wanted to fight me.
Why would anybody want to fight you?
I know. Because they thought I was my evil sister. So.
Oh. The one who kidnapped me and tried to kill you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm glad it worked out then. And his number one priority is getting some new clothes, as he is still in the gear and Mur's skirts, basically.
Silk kimonos.
His leather fetish gear and silk kimono that he's been wearing. And so he actually Icky, I hate to do this, but I was wondering if you could spot me some of them teeth, coins, whatever it is that people use around here. I didn't see anybody use any money.
Icky looks past him at Ellie.
You're gonna go into debt to Icky?
Did you need some tea?
Give
I mean, I just
she'll reach into her pouch and grab like a handful of teeth and put it in Ellie's hand and close it, and then like not even look at Axe Dreamer, just assume that he gets the message.
Thank you.
Go.
Are we going shopping?
I just would like to get something that's a bit more that covers me a bit more, so I don't get so sunburned.
You will know what will suit him best. Go. He's eating all my food.
I can create food and we can dress him in a ham suit that could cook in the sun. We can eat.
Or like if it's like a lamb skewer, like he just has to turn and everybody can have heroes.
Yep.
So dumb.
This is very degrading.
Drape him in raw meat.
I'm so mad.
Okay. All right. So Axe Dreamer and Ellie go off. There's a merchant there, Johar, who had arrived, and he's got wares on his mount outside as well as some stuff with him. So there is commerce to be had even in these, even in places like this. So give me an idea of how you guys plan on picking up that trail, and you were going to use Rix's sort of markers to
Yeah,
Rix going. Okay.
Rix is supposed to leave markers. We'll see whether or not he actually does it. He's such a disappointment that maybe he forgets. Who knows?
So we heard that the Corsica's going east, right?
Yeah, you've heard that from several. That was the general direction that when Ellie was sort of at the Tree of Andrus and there was the brief communion, that's where she sensed, a presence like herself was vague, like northeast, east-ish. And then afterwards, I think someone at Hamada's camp last week mentioned it because someone was asking like the merchants there if they'd seen anyone who looked like Ellie, and a couple of them said they thought they had headed eastward.
Well, we've got a lot of resources at our disposal.
Oh, and I'm sorry, I remember the next one is that when you identified what mount she was riding, that particular type of giant lizard, it needed to stay near, it needs lots of water.
Right. Needs water. You'd said that.
Okay.
And so it was either one of the two rivers that they'd probably stick closest to.
Okay, so the one to the east then. That would also be near enough to basilisks that she needs that poison, because she didn't have that poison 6 months ago, however many months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Presuming that Ellie told Icky and Baloo anything about that conversation with Frank that was pertinent to tracking Corsica. Okay, so she didn't have that poison 6 months ago. She probably didn't have the lizard. Frank didn't mention it.
Potential, yeah.
Oh.
It's really though. So Icky has you have that sort of background feature about like sort of animals and where they're bred and something like that.
Yeah.
There's a lizard like that is not going to be found out in the wild. They are bred and trained. So there's probably Trade Town is probably the biggest place that you could go to get a mount like that.
So she probably didn't have that mount coming into Trade Town and then took that mount coming out of Trade Town because she needed a quick escape.
Probably.
Icky still has her map, and she'll sit down with Baloo and like try and triangulate.
The Hound River just sort of lopes its way eastward. Actually, Baloo's dugout is not sort of overlooks the banks of the Hound, and unlike westward, where you had traveled upriver to visit the Drow all those many months ago, the Horn, or that's the Horn River. The Hound River is a lazy, just shallow, wide river. This time of year, it's probably more like a muddy ditch than anything, as the water that normally feeds it is sort of forced underground by the heat. But it supplies a fairly large stretch of grassland that stretches to the east of the region that you're in right now. That's sort of the general layout of what eastward looks like. People live out there. There's a couple of fairly large settlements, not as large as Trade Town, but bigger than these encampments. That's kind of the basic geography of what's eastward.
Why would she be going east if there's nothing out there? Is that where she's from? If so, that doesn't really match up with Ellie. If for instance she's from where Ellie's from like south, right? So,
yeah.
Well, I will clarify. Ellie thinks she's from the south.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, because we do know that there's like a tower up there in that general vicinity. But maybe she's going east because there is nothing out there.
I was going to say, I mean, she might just be leading us, east while she's doubling back around. We don't know. We need to find her. We need to know for sure where she is.
Mm-hmm.
There's all sorts of things out there, right? There's the ruins of prior cities and the like. Many of them have been inhabited and re-inhabited several times over. It's the further, the further east you go, it gets less, less populous, but it's also slightly more habitable
Why
And
steal Axe Dreamer?
for
There's a like,
That's what
why-
Icky is asking Baloo. She cannot go far with Axe Dreamer. He is not equipped. If he is stone, he is too heavy. If he is a man, he cannot be in the sun very long.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't know.
Kill him and raise him later.
Maybe, but
Reduce
It's a lot
his
of trouble.
size, stick him in a bag.
Not everyone can raise the dead, Gildan.
Mhm.
Gildan can't. Too much money.
too expensive.
It
She's
is.
just trying to like put numbers together where she's sitting like, where would she have a hideout? Like, she clearly went back to the caves and made her camp there and left Axe Dreamer, but she had planned at least to take him. So, like, she can't take him very far.
Maybe she left him as a diversion.
Why steal him if she's just going to drop him?
I don't know.
How would
So-
that divert us? We weren't looking for him.
We did divert us though.
Okay, look.
We're like, ooh, human.
and just remind the party that even my enemies also, or your enemies also had 90 days of downtime.
Yeah, I know. So that's why I'm sitting here going like why would she do any of these things? Like why take the stone person who would be like metagaming TK, who would be too heavy to go on this mount that can only sustain 2 medium-sized living creatures?
You could drag him.
She could drag him, but not with people following her.
That's true. Most likely not, no. Unless you reduce his size.
I'm
Oh
mad.
my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so we've got a couple. We've got
There's
a
a
couple.
portal.
lives in. Do we think any of them actually meet? Like, do we think that? I mean, obviously, this.
What I think is that I'm thinking too hard about it.
Okay, yeah, that's. That,
I think these are all very good questions.
Yeah.
There are answers.
do we know why she was in Lang's prison when Gildan found her?
That's a long time ago for me to remember. I can't recall exactly. She helped Gildan escape.
Mhm.
Sort of revealed herself to him then, but that was like
She was
6
lying
months.
to me the whole
And she
time, though.
stabbed
We
him.
incited it.
That's
Yeah,
true.
and she stabbed him.
Yeah.
Was she naked like Gildan?
I don't think she stabbed me. I don't remember. her
Gildan.
stabbing
I don't
me.
remember attacking.
Oh, I thought she did.
She
had
lied
gear.
to me, though.
Yeah, she was lying. Yeah.
Gildan, was she naked like you when we found you?
No one's naked like me. But
She was sort of stripped of all of her stuff, not
Yeah.
completely nude, but
Yeah,
interstitial.
Icky's just trying to determine if she was a prisoner, like an actual prisoner,
she claimed to be one.
or if she was just hanging out inside a pyramid.
So many questions.
I'm mad. Getting real mad.
My cat Ishtar's mad too. She's talking about it.
Oh, there's this
Thank
star.
you, Ishtar.
Stressed.
Stressed. Icky will point at the map and ask Ellie what she thinks.
Well, all the signs lead that we should go east. East.
East is very big.
Yes.
In theory, the fewer people that are out there, the more likely somebody will have. If she's made contact with somebody, they'll know something.
That's true.
Yeah, Icky, like, what Icky will do is, like, lean over the map and, like, look at Ellie and then look at the map and say, if you were going east, where would you go? And, like, try and, like, maybe trigger, like, some kind of insight on Ellie's part or something. Like, she knows that the clones for the servitors share, like, a similar mind, so maybe there might be a similar instinct going on there.
Well,
Yeah.
and when Ellie when Ellie was participating in divination magic, it was more effective than when Gildan tried.
Right. So.
And
So when you
Grant
did
was
this-
helpful in outlining all the ways in which someone might evade a locate creature spell.
It's true.
Right.
Yeah. Now, we have established. Well, let me double check this. We've established a couple things that that I am familiar with her. I could always try to send a sending spell to her, and she might respond.
Yeah.
True.
I'm a horrible liar, though. And who knows?
Opens up PHP to Druid spell list. Stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Close her eyes for a second and do her best to maybe have some sort of twin connection, or maybe remember when Thrax was, or when she was with Thrax in that dream.
Thrax was sort of casting a spell through Ellie. So if Ellie, you attempt to, and you get a sense that there is that you do share some kind of metaphysical connection, but without knowing how to weave magic yourself, it'd be difficult to take advantage of it.
Okay. Yeah, so Ellie will just like close her eyes and just be like, I don't know. I can't really see anything. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's okay. You know. Yeah. You voiced.
Is there anywhere safe your father would tell you to go?
And at this, she tries to remember, and like nothing comes to mind.
Yeah, Andrew's always seemed pretty adamant about staying in and not not really going out. That the safest place was in his laboratory, basically.
Yeah. We could just stick by the river and go east, and then maybe see if we could track anything.
Yeah. I think as far as the next move, I think that's good. While we're formulating plans and searching for other things.
We know it needs the water, so.
Heading eastward along the river, and then looking for signs for that.
Yep, and it only took us 30 minutes to decide that.
It's fun thinking a character like that.
It is.
Sure. So you spend the better part of that that morning planning your route, which way you're going to go, and then after Mur is unoccupied, using the air skiff plus tiny hut combo to travel during the day like you do. The nearest way to actually get to the river would be to head to Baloo's abode and then track it and then get there from there. And that's another 2 hours away by the skiff. Let's see. Give me just a second here. As I juggle all of the everything that's going on. So there is all right. There is a sigh of relief as the party makes their way out of the encampment. You see Jeff is just on a cliffside, just glowering down.
Do I notice him?
He's sort of across the way and up a hill. He's sort of kind of gives you a sure. And
I'll wave to him
as you'll leave on the skiff and make your way across the sort of the scrubby hills towards Baloo's abode, which is empty from when you last were there, and overlooking the muddy banks of the Hound River, which is now more like shallow pools that quickly dry up during the day, and then as the whatever sort of springs underneath the earth that feed this river sort of partially refresh at night before getting all dried up again. Let's see. Give me just 1 second, and let's see. Gildan is up to something.
Oh.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
There's some backstage chat we don't know about.
Sure. And
Gildan's always up to something.
there's always something going on. So while you guys are traveling, it's not really that is that the first night as y'all leave the encampment. I need a couple things from you. I'd like Icky to make me a survival roll, and this is partially to find any markers that Rix would have.
If she screws this up, we'll just blame it on Rix. It's fine.
Sure. You're familiar with it. I probably have advantage on this roll just because it's Rix.
Thanks. I appreciate that because that first roll was an 8.
Oh.
Well, it's a 9. Fine, whatever.
9 total, or
It's 9 total. That's with
okay.
their
I thought you were like,
that's
no,
with their proficiency.
you could
Yeah.
still get it. Okay. Yeah, it's his Rix. You don't really see any of the signs from where he's at. It looks like he went less like southeast and more straight east across, though.
Ugh.
Maybe we'll pick it up at another time. And then there is what else there is. Y'all stopping at Baloo's at all? Or are you just gonna use that as your launching off point?
Yeah,
we might
let's
take a dump there.
we should pick up stuff at Baloo's. He
Okay.
probably has food there.
The resupply.
That's true.
Absolutely.
We've been out for like weeks.
Mm-hmm. And resupplied there. So as you're making your way across the desert here, and sort of sticking close to the embankment, I would like whoever's sort of on the lookout, whoever was sort of like gonna do the tracking, to make me a survival roll for that as well. So I don't know if
I
that's
can
gonna
do
be,
that.
I don't know if who else might be doing
Here,
the actual
Baloo.
tracking here.
I think I got a +8 to survival.
Yeah.
When I
Yeah, you should probably do it.
estimate up.
Oh man, I forgot that I was in my
27.
Favorite train, right?
I forgot I was in my favorite train.
Oh.
I'm so mad.
It really happens. I always forget something like that with the ranger.
It's like one of the only good things about a ranger. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean that. Sorry.
Oh, I love rangers. Come on.
5e rangers are kind of the redheaded stepchild of 5e, but whatever.
Unless you're Dan Dillon. He's the
Unless
only
you're
one.
Dan. Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate Dan's commitment to the Beastmaster. So
As he walks around with a Louisville Slugger saying, "So you got any problems with the Beastmaster?" No, Dan,
I mean,
none
when
at all.
like
We're all cool
anyone
here,
can have a
Dad.
pet now, it's kind of like, okay, well, cool.
I feel you on that.
It's like, yeah, my beast animal is like a wolf, and then somebody's like, well, I have a pet beholder. It's like,
You don't have to use
Okay.
your action to make it do anything. Gildan comes across an old campsite. It is on the far bank of the Hound and about a day out from Baloo's abode. So you guys are like deep in the scrubland of to the east of where the Fellowship rules, and an old campsite with tracks that are suspicious enough that you believe them to be from the lizard mount that Corsica was riding. However, you don't see any any other kind of tracks there. It's just the lizard. And the campsite is quite old.
It's old. Okay.
Yeah.
Can we tell where the tracks were coming from?
They're west to east is where they're headed. Yeah.
Okay. Well, fresh scent. Not fresh, but
At this point, you are nearing the end of your sort of first day's travel. Are you going to press onward or find a place yourself to make camp?
Is it late?
It's getting almost sunrise, so you would have left the encampment, brief stop at Baloo's, and then heading eastward through the night, checking periodically places that would be, that you might be able to spot something. And it's in one of those locations that you find this old campsite that has tracks that are of the same type of lizard that you found tracks of before.
Well, we know at one point this campsite was safe, so I'd be okay with making camp here.
And then as sort of you guys set up for camp and to survive the daytime here using your spells and survival skills, give me an idea of sort of where we leave off. What's the last thing that we get from your characters? Is anybody taking watch? Is anybody doing anything in particular? Or you're just sort of like toughing this one out?
Yeah, I think Ellie would want to take watch just because she feels she's closer and closer to, I guess, having her revenge as the hours or seconds go on. So she's going to have a hard time sleeping that night, just so she can kind of keep an eye on everything.
I mean, do you actually end up going to sleep, or is it just sort of like tossing and turning in the light?
Eventually, I don't think she'll have the best sleep, unfortunately.
Okay.
She just wants to be aware as much as possible. But eventually she's just going to be so tired.
Yeah, just sort of like exhaustion takes over.
Yeah.
Baloo's going to he's just kind of like, casting about for potential leads. He's going to cast locate animal and attempt to find the exact species that he's probably gotten a good description from Icky from.
You're familiar with the type. You've seen them at the stockades.
Okay.
Down before. Yeah.
So he's just double checking within 5 miles if there is one of those, and if so, I don't know how specific it gets.
You do not detect anything within 5 miles of here. It has been about 15 days since the attempted assassination and the scuffle that happened in Trade Town, right? So it's been quite some time since since you were really like aware of where she was or what she was doing. So she has a considerable lead on y'all, even though she's having to travel at a much slower pace than you guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, your magic, but importantly, it also does not reveal any other riding beasts of the type that are within 5 miles of you.
Yeah. I think that's, other than that, Baloo gets a chance to sleep. He's going to sleep. Before he goes to bed, he's going to cast protection poison on Ellie, because that's what he does.
Okay.
Just to update her as often as he can.
Right. And how about Icky?
Icky goes to sleep pretty quickly because now she's like accustomed to being on the skiff, being under the magic hut, and everything like that. She actually doesn't mind sleeping during the day because it's like she can still probably feel a little of the heat like radiating just enough to be pleasant, and the skiff probably heats up underneath the hut, so it's great for her. She feels like she's in a terrarium. And she just resolves to find more of Rix's markers in the morning, see whether or not he's found anything.
Okay. And then how about Gildan?
Gildan stares off into the horizon. With a wave of his hand, he casts Create Water, and it rains briefly in a 30-foot cube. He looks at the dirt and casts it again, creating 10 gallons of water. Follow that, he uses a 3rd level spell slot and casts Control Water to cause it to rise up 20 feet and flood off into the desert. And he's just pondering, now that he has dabbled with the creation myth, there must be a flood, one way or another.
You're gonna flood the world just one spell slot at a time.
Yes. Well, it's going to be redirect flow from that ocean we found, and it's just going to run out and then just glug, 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 inside out.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. As everyone sort of like drifts off to sleep and begins their to sleep away the heat of the day, Ellie has a strange dream. You're back home in your old room. It's cozier than you remember, homier. And Anders walks in. There's a knock before he opens. And he's this old, wizened, crumpled self. Ellie, how are you? Is everything okay?
I think so. Did you send my sister to kill me?
Whatever are you talking about? Your sister? No, I would never do such a thing to kill you. You must hurry home. There is big news that I have.
And he seems like animated and excited.
Wait, so I do have a sister? And why can't you just tell me the news right now?
It's just, please, it'd be helpful if you were here in person. And we can discuss your sister while we're here. She has an extraordinary tale that she has brought me.
Okay, so where's home again? Where do I go?
Yes, very well. You will find a curious circle on the ground to the east of the river. Utter these words when you arrive there, and you will be reunited.
And your dream shifts to kind of a bird's eye view of the savannah that stretches east of the Hound. And you can sense that Anders is still with you. And you sort of get a glimpse of the terrain and the environment. It's like the American Southwest, right? Lots of cacti and sagebrush and sort of scrubby, dry grasses, relatively flat east of the river. And as it goes, you soar over a set of lone hills, and there is a massive, cyclopean Stonehenge with a cryptic runic circle that's probably 50 yards in diameter, and in it is a massive skeletal figure that seems to be like hunched over or trapped. And the voice of Anders, you can use that to get back home whenever you like. Just say these words. And your last memories of the dream are of Anders imparting the arcane incantation, which will activate the teleportation circle that he revealed to you. That's it for this week, unless our players have one last parting thought. We will. There's been a lot going on behind the scenes in our backstage chat, as it seems as though everyone's attempting to get a lead and get a drop on the quarry that they pursue. But yeah, there we go. Well, yeah, that's, I guess we're going to call it an evening.
Yeah.
Usually we end on a big cliffhanger, so I don't ever know what to do if it's not.
But that was a pretty good cliffhanger, though.
Cliffhanger, yeah.
Like,
There you go. Shouldn't sell myself short.
Yeah.
So, yes, as we part, Ellie has pleasant and rejuvenating dreams as Anders imparts this bit of arcane lore into her mind. You know that it is a journey to get where this is, and would take quite a while even with the So, we'll have to see next week which direction you guys head, how you get there, and what happens when you do arrive. We really appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out with us in the chat tonight and just enjoying these shenanigans that we get up to. Don't forget to check out our sponsor, Tabletop Loot, for dice and mugs and dice jails and all other sorts of cool things. Let's go around and see how everybody is doing. Josh, what's up? How's it going?
It's going pretty good.
Still plotting to flood the world.
Yeah, it's just playing. It's you know, it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. Like 1,000 years from now, it'll have been the right thing to do. So yeah, personally, I'm doing good. Just trying to get over a sunburn. This is what happens when I go outside and try to be active.
Oh, how'd you get? You braved the sun yourself?
Yeah, I was gardening with cousin. With Elizabeth. So this is what happens. Yeah, you know, I got smited. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter. That's where I'm most active. At Beard for Charity. And I'm trying to get back to Twitch. I haven't really been streaming recently, but check me there. Also at Beard for Charity.
There you go.
Yeah.
Excellent. And I hope the sunburn clears up.
Yeah,
Anna, where are you? Where can we find you online?
Hello. I had a great time. I'm doing great. I'm so excited for next week because drama, family drama. But you can find me on Twitch as Cyborg Pizza or Twitter and Instagram as AnnaBPhoto. Oh, and sorry. And right after this, I am playing on Scrat's channel with some anime Ryutama. Anime babes.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. A game that many of us over here are eager to play as well. So pretty cool. TK, how are you?
Hey, it's me. It's TK. Writing spooky stories on the internet. If you like spooky stories, go to tkjwrites.com or follow me on Twitter. TK joins the fray. I'm in a lot of games now. Tuesdays, Don't Split the Podcast Network with Demon Plague. Wednesdays and Thursdays, I'm here hanging out with Jim and Pruitt and everybody. And then Sundays, I am on the D&D Twitch with Hell's Bells, but only for 2 more weeks. We're almost done. Fridays, if you like reading about me and my failures as a DM, you can look at my articles on tabletoptest.com. It feels bad, fam, but hopefully you can learn from my mistakes. I'll tell you right now, spoilers, too long didn't read. Communicate with your players. Communicate, please.
Yes.
Please talk to your players, please. I know that what everybody wants to do is be like the gotcha DM, where it's like, haha, it was your dead parents all along. Most players don't super dig it. Anyway, yeah, I love attention. Follow me. Bye.
There you go. Excellent. Lindy's power went out. I think she's doing good. Hopefully everything is going well. We'll enjoy her presence next week.
Knitting.
Sure, she's knitting.
In candlelight.
That sounds wonderful, actually, to be unplugged. Too bad it happened in the middle of a storm and the power's going out, but we wish her well and hope that everything's good. Grant, hope everything's good in your neck of the woods as well, that storm's not getting you.
It is. We have flash flood warnings going off the whole game, and we're probably in the worst of it right now. But hi, everyone. I'm Grant Ellis. I'm an independent content creator for tabletop role-playing games and a producer here on WebDM's Twitch channel. I have probably 4 books that'll be published before the end of the year. 2 I can talk about right now. The TPK Bestiary and the TPK Handbook Volume 2 for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. I'm here on WebDM 3 days a week. Starward Bound as a producer. Wednesdays running Invisible Sun, and Thursdays here on the Land Between Two Rivers. I run 4 Invisible Sun games. If you like my content, you can support my Patreon, but you should also support WebDM's Patreon because they do amazing things. And TK's and everyone else that has one. Support these people. I don't need the support. Support everyone else.
We certainly appreciate it. Yes, we do have a Patreon where Pruitt and I often go on long, rambling, and often pointless conversations about RPGs and flying and just whatever else is going on. So come check us out if you enjoy what we do on the YouTube show. We appreciate your support in any way that you can give it, including just showing up and hanging out and spending time with us as we play. And otherwise, we will see you guys on Tuesday with some Starward Bound action. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Let's pay it forward with a raid to the Phantom Roll booth, though. They're doing a Star Wars RPG, and they've got some amazing costumes.
Let's do it. Stick around for the raid. There we go.
Great raid.
Let's hop in.